having a good
Hey,
time?
I had the guy, the brother. I'm gonna get him right now. Okay.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Jerid. Jerid's his name. All right.
Flatter dude.
Russianvids. Hang on.
Talk back.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
What's going on, guys and girls?
How's it going,
Hello
Jared?
there.
Aloha, brother.
Hey,
You're
what's going
talking
on?
to
How's
the
your day
Sun and
going?
Moon Family United group, who are going through Flat Earth Dude. There's a chat room, and there's Bling Bling BS of the ISS. There's Joey Rocha, Trouble About, Vinny TV, and me.
I'm in good company.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so the meetup has been pretty cool. Have you guys been following it along with it? Are they like live doing the whole meetup or?
Yeah, we've been with you. We've been with you.
We've been on for about what it's been an hour and a half now, watching all the festivities. You know, Mark Sargent and Patricia Steer when they first rolled up in their car, and basically from the start. You know, from the very start. But I want to commend you, you and your brother Shane, for having I don't want to say the word, but having the guts to put this information out there. And myself doing flat Earth videos since 2015, I had to slowly roll it out. You know, I didn't say flat Earth in the beginning. You got to plant a seed in the minds. If you do that right away, it's too much too soon. So I commend the way you guys went about it. Because if you say we're flat Earth, it's going to shock them too much. This is my perspective of what you guys are doing, and I appreciate you guys putting yourselves out there and doing what you're doing.
Hey, you got it exactly, and I really appreciate you saying all that. And even today, we're actually doing kind of like a mini documentary where examining the layers of what the flat Earth movement really is, a small piece of it. When you get deeper into it, the layers are really what, you know, gravitated me to it. You know, the purpose parts, the fact that it's not all just coincidental. So it's been fun, man. We've been talking to a lot of people, getting their history, what got them into the flat Earth, how it's shifted their perception of reality in a positive way. And hopefully the video that we're doing today just furthers what that first video did. That's the goal. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully when it comes out, all you guys see it, and it's another video that can be something that's shareable, that means something to the community, and that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I definitely shared your the first video you guys did, and it was you did a very good job. I mean, couldn't have been better. And even in our vocabulary, you said gravitate towards. This is part of the programming. Like words like the globalist. You know, this is
they got me.
Yeah, we're all. It's like this. A lot of flat earthers were first doing it in 2015. They're still calling it a planet. You know, so it's like getting rid of the programming is a difficult step to make. So it's a conditioning, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
I thought, as far as the word planet, though, I thought it's plane with the T at the end of it, right? So is it our understanding of what the word means, or is it the actual word itself that we shouldn't use?
Well, it's amazing how,
is it just an understanding of what it is? Yeah,
well, it's funny how there's so many planned words. When it comes to like airplane, it's a vehicle flying through the air over a plane, the Antarctic Circle, the Antarctic Edge. You know, it's all right there in front of us in the words itself. It's not by chance or coincidence, in my opinion, on how it all comes about, you know?
I mean, that is. So what are anything new and exciting that you guys have come to discover, or any new facts that you'd like to share? Maybe I could bring up in this video some key points.
Yeah, I would.
Because
Jared, I would like to bring this up. Imagine just, you know, and Chris K in the UK has mentioned this before, where, you know, we're all supposedly, you know, spinning at different speeds depending how, you know, from the equator to the so-called North Pole. And say, for example, you're in you're looking up at the sky, at the stars, say in San Francisco, and someone's down in, say, Mexico, looking at the stars. If we're spinning at different speeds depending where we're at on this spinning ball Earth, we should look at the stars, and the stars should be moving at different speeds. The luminaries should be moving at different speeds. Yeah, it's we're all looking. No, we're all looking at it's all moving at the same speed. It shouldn't be according to how the world. For example, we're spinning at 1,100 miles an hour supposedly at the equator. When you get to the North Pole, it's 0. So, say for example, in LA, we're supposedly spinning right now, supposedly you're spinning 900 miles an hour in LA. At the equator, 1,100 miles an hour. So you should look up at the sky, and the stars should be moving at different speeds depending on your location on the supposed spinning ball Earth. So that doesn't make sense when we don't see that. We don't sense that. And also
And
gravity, how things fall.
that's observable as well. So that's a great one. I mean, that's a really good one to get out there to the people that need something like that, you know, just to kind of nudge them in to actually look at that. Because I feel like it's about trying to loosen the bolts that have been tightened, you know, and I don't think a lot of people have never even thought about the stars or how fast the Earth is going. So when you lay it out in numbers and things that they could grasp and that's palatable, that's definitely, I appreciate, I'll bring that one up. I mean, I think it's already in the video a little bit, but, you know,
Can I
appreciate that.
just jump in and ask a question?
Of course.
Hi, this is Bling Bling, the BS of the ISS. I enjoyed your video with your brother. And when he referred to you as the biggest conspiracy guy that he knew, can I ask you, what other conspiracies were you, like, sold on prior to, you know, learning about flat Earth?
I mean, the moon, of course, being fake. 9/11 is a big one that we talk about. As far as like major conspiracies, like the Anunnaki is a big one that I feel like holds a lot of weight. I don't know. I can't off the top of my head name too many of them. I mean, What about you? What are some conspiracies that you also subscribe to?
Well, hold on, before we go there, I have another question. Did you just discover flat Earth? Like, you know, when you saw that first video, was this like your first experience seeing the information, or you had seen it before?
No, it was like 2 years previous. I saw Eddie Bravo on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he got me like super pumped on it, but eventually it tired me out because he leads with a lot of aggression, and I feel like it kind of put me in a mind state when I thought about it, if he's the only person feeding me the information. So I looked into people like Mark, Kevin, the Dubé, you know, I looked at his videos, Eric Dubé, and just really there's so many, like Odd TV. I mean, that was, I think, one of the first, because I was looking for videos, I think like a lot of people, that gave me definitive proofs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted someone to give me like, I did this calculation or this measurement, or even like the thing with the stars, you know, and I started looking more into those videos. But Mark had a video that kind of got deeper, more of a spiritual level, I would say. And that's what really hooked me into it, you know, the flat Earth strings together so many mysteries of life, you know, and that's why I liked it so much, because I feel like we live in a day and age where I don't know many people that have a strong belief in anything. You know what I mean? Like, my beliefs are always all over the place, and I'm always looking for something to make it all make sense to me. And for a long time, the Anunnaki did that, because it streamed together all these, you know, where did consciousness come from? How did we evolve into what we are now? So that really was one. And then the flat Earth just kind of, and I was raised religious. You know, I went to a Catholic school, and I was away from my beliefs at the time. And the flat Earth kind of brought that back into my life. Not in a way where like I'm a Christian now and I go to church, but
You don't have to be in church.
You know what I mean? Because being religious is of the people, right? I mean, it's more about being spiritual and what.
So you're a flat earther. Now, is your brother also a flat earther as well now? Because he was a little vague at the end of your video. It's like, well, I guess we are. Like, it was kind of, I'm sure you probably did that for the viewers. I know that your brother has millions of viewers. It's just, I think this is so amazing, and you guys could be so influential towards the flat earth movement.
We're trying, right?
It's mind-blowing to me, actually, to finally have, I mean, for us to have a big channel in flat earth, if you have 90,000 subs, like, that's a huge channel. You know, you can have a makeup tutorial channel and have 1 million viewers, you know, so it's still tough to get huge numbers, but you guys have that. And if you keep on this path, I'm just like, the blessings towards you is just, to me, amazing. Like, I feel so blessed that you're in the movement. I was so excited when I saw it. I've been praying for this to happen, and it looks like it has. So, I mean, my suggestion for you is just to convince people that the moon landings were fake, because that's how I've always started in, proving the moon landings are fake. And, you know, my channel is all about proving the International Space Station is nothing but propaganda and a children's television show, basically. It's all, you know, contrived and fake. So it's baby steps, as far as like Russianvids was telling you. It's always baby steps. You don't want to lose your subs. You don't want to turn them off, but you want to intrigue them enough that they want to learn more. And I just really want to congratulate you
Yeah, I
guys
mean,
for coming out like this.
No, I appreciate it, because he had asked me to do the video actually like a year ago before we did it. And at that time, I mean, everything is meant to be, or, you know, happens for a reason. So I feel like I'm glad at the time we didn't do the video, because I was at a different place with it in my head. And I don't know if I could have conveyed it the way I did.
Okay.
So by the time he asked me to do it, you know, I try to put into perspective, like, who's going to watch this, you know, his demographic. Like a week before we did the video, I helped him with a few things, and we were putting a PowerPoint together and looking at his demographics and so forth and so on. And I saw that like 85% of his demographic is 13 to 17-year-old females. And,
Wow.
you know, when I saw that, I thought, what kind of message do these people need right now in their life? Or what kind of perspective could I maybe give them? Because a lot of these kids are lost. You know, they found Shane because they were at a point in their life where they could relate to someone like my brother, who had a hard upbringing. He got made fun of. He was bullied, so forth and so on. And he's grown since then, so he's diversified his audience. But I really wanted to put it out there as something to look into and, you know, really build around it the ideology that I found and give them hope. And I actually got a bunch of messages that the video brought people out of depression. It allowed them to put life in perspective that made sense to them, that allowed them to feel purposeful. So,
Wow.
I mean, that's like the most, and that's really why we did it that way, because it's very easy to be dismissive when all you focus on is the shape. If it's all about the shape, you know, you just get yourself into these circle conversations that never end, and you're just uphill battling. But once you break past that, it also softens up people to explore your ideas a little bit more. Absolutely. You know, like, so if I could put you into this mind state of peace and happiness and feeling a certain way, you're going to not be as closed off to hearing me, because we're supposed to be closed off and not want to listen to each other and always be, you know, in that mindset. So we just got to break people out of it. And I think that's part of the awakening, is being open to what the universe is telling us. Not, you know, like, for instance, I went to Mexico for a few weeks, and for like 5 days, we were in a small village where, if you've heard of it, you're from it. You know, it's not like, it's called Cutro, Mexico. I highly doubt anyone's ever heard of it. But so we went to like Mexico City, saw the pyramids. Then we went to this village that my wife's parents grew up in for like 3-4 days. But when you're out there without all the distractions, it's such a different vibe. And it's such a higher level of peace and lower anxiety. And it's not that everything moves slower. It's just there's not as much filling up your day, so you realize time in a different way. You know, like, you and time have a different relationship. It's not a fight against it, it's a blessing for it, you know. And just sitting there, you could actually see the stars. And I mean, the world is full of clutter, I guess, the point of all I'm saying. And when you declutter it and you get rid of a lot of the bullshit, there's a lot of beauty in it. So I think this is the first step of an awakening, you know. Have
you had a lot of requests to make more videos about this topic?
Oh yeah, it's pretty much all it is. You know, that's all people want. So this video is kind of like the follow-up to that video, you know, because I really want to use the platform to, because I believe you could open up your mind with millions of topics to talk about them. For them to just make like a 5-minute video, just to feed it, you know. I wanted to make something a little bit bigger. So I've actually been talking to Mark for maybe a month at this point, trying to plot out what days he could come down. This whole meetup was actually, you know, a spot of that, kind of like, we talked about the dates. I said, hey, it might be cool to get a meetup, because I really want to talk to as many people I can and get as many perspectives as I can, because I want people to watch it and find a bit of themselves within some of the people that we're talking to. And the selection pool is much greater at a meetup, and it's more, you know, we're giving us some humanity here. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
sure.
Yeah.
I find it interesting, though, that your age group, the age group's amazing to me because this is the age group that we really need to bring awareness to. Like these young kids are the future. You know, they're going to make the biggest impact of all. So it's fantastic.
I mean, eventually
Jared,
they're going to be the generation that rules the world, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jared, you asked earlier to Bling Bling, but I'll answer when you asked about what other conspiracies. Well, this is the foundation of this world. This is the foundation of this life system. So I've said it many times in my video presentations where real things happen in this world, but they only spotlight what they create. It might sound outrageous to you hearing this, but I've covered O.J. Simpson case and the Pulse, which your brother covered. He played the actual clip of my video when it went down. These are agenda-based news stories that they create. And it's like I said, it's like watching divorce court where real divorces happen, but they only spotlight, their creations on TV for public consumption where they control from start to finish. And this is a huge and a very difficult pill to swallow for many people to understand, where they do not let things just happen by random and just air things that they have no control over. So real things happen in this world, but if it's spotlighted, it's more than likely their creation is on a national and international level. I'm not talking about local news. I'm talking about big news stories that play out, and people don't react a certain way under the circumstances where, like, events happen. You don't see teardrops from family members or supposedly lose loved ones. If people look closely enough, they'll say, wait a second, these are not adding up.
You're talking about like Sandy Hook?
Yeah, things like that. Sandy Hook, the Pulse, like I said, Boston, a lot of events that are headlined, and it's going deep. But if you look at it very closely, it's about getting the general public to go in a certain direction, and the few that control the many. If they just rolled out news stories that they don't control, it doesn't serve their agenda. TV news is about propaganda and airing things that they have no control over. They have no control over it. Therefore, it can go in a direction they don't want. This is about the few control the many, and that's what it's about.
And what is it? The victors write history.
Exactly.
History is written by the victors.
Yeah,
so,
I mean it's.
I think a lot of people today, because one of the questions that I ask is how you feel, or if you feel at some point flat Earth is going to be the consensus. For instance, instead of a globe being on a desk, there'll be a flat Earth model on a desk. And a lot of people say that it's a generational thing. At some point, the people leading this country are going to be gone, and the generations coming up, it's the information they get that's going to become what's, agreed upon and accepted. So I agree. I think Mark has a statistic that, what is it, like 30% of 18 to 23-year-olds believe in the flat Earth or accept that it could be a possibility or something like this. So that's a pretty interesting statistic to think about. It's funny too. Three out of 10 people in that age bracket would, be able to have a conversation about something that 5 years ago most of us had never even thought of. I mean, at least when I say most of us, maybe we have, but I don't. People so hard is because most people have never in their life placed any importance on the shape of the Earth. They just accept what they're told, right? And then all of a sudden, when reality gets fuzzy, either it's too much for someone to handle and they resort back and their mind and body just can't function and they retreat, or they're uncomfortable for a second and keep going on it and research it. And I mean, I believe that you can never have clarity unless you've experienced fuzziness, because you have to prove the clarity that you see as being absolute, right? So I like to fuzzy the reality of things. And, I think when you think of the flat Earth, when people allow that to be the case, it's really hard to go back and not look at things differently, So yeah. I think, the generation coming up is like that, right?
Big flat Earth hugs to you.
What's that?
I said big flat Earth hugs to you.
Oh, likewise. Hey, well, I appreciate you guys. I think we're going to get some interviews done, and we're going to get some footage of this model. But everybody have a great night, a great weekend. Be blessed. And I'll see who's coming up next for you guys, right?
Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, thank you.